priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Seppo is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of a book. It sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car is responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Magione OSRW.
And there's Raimo Pedersen, easing out onto Magione OSRW. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this out lap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Seppo is on the out lap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
There goes Sunoiler, on their first dance with Magione OSRW. Every bend, every straight is a chance to learn, to adapt.
Yep, and it's about syncing with the car too, making sure everything's in harmony. It's like tuning an instrument before a big concert.
Raimo Pedersen is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what TCL Ford Escort has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
You know, mate, watching these practice sessions, you'd think the driver just jumps in and goes. But there's a heck of a lot more to it, starting with that aero package, the balance between drag and downforce.
Oh, for sure. You tweak the front wing just a smidge, and you could have a totally different beast on your hands. Depending on the track, they might want more downforce for those tight corners or reduce it for the long straights to maximize speed.
Now, here's a term some might not be familiar with, roll bar stiffness. Sounds technical, doesn't it?
It does, but in essence, it's about how the car reacts to lateral forces, especially during cornering. Adjusting the roll bar can change how the car behaves mid-corner. A softer setting can be more forgiving, but a stiffer one might give the driver a quicker response, albeit with less margin for error.
Sunoiler's on the out lap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine, first impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
look at Seppo go, they're really giving it some jandal now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car's performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Raimo Pedersen's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 1:28.192. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Seppo's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 1:29.503. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
There's the first flying lap for Raimo Pedersen, hitting 1:28.089. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Seppo posted a 1:27.485 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Let's talk rubber. Tire pressures ain't just about pumping them up and hitting the road. It's like a fine art.
Couldn't have said it better. Tire pressures can dramatically impact the contact patch, the actual bit of tire touching the tarmac. Too high and you lose temperature and grip, too low, and you risk overheating, uneven wear, or even a blowout. Each tire will have its own sweet spot where they grip best.
Oi, these practices aren't just a walkabout in the park. It's here that races are often won or lost.
Absolutely. Back home in North Carolina, we emphasize the setup. A few tweaks during practice can lead to major gains on race day.
Sunoiler crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 1:31.689. They're getting to grips with Magione OSRW, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Seppo posted 1:28.141 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 343 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Raimo Pedersen has a best lap time of 1:27.948. Alright, Seppo has put down a 1:27.544. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that TCL Triumph Dolomite sprint.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Martin Vexler is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today, a year of. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Magione OSRW.
Sunoiler has a best lap time of 1:31.689. It's all about finding that sweet spot during these sessions. Like tuning a didgeridoo, but way faster.
Haha, and a lot noisier. But you're right. In Indy, we fine-tune until it feels just right. Every lap here is a step towards perfection.
Ever heard the pit crew chat about wheel camber? Sounds like a dance move, but trust me, it's all car talk.
Haha, yeah, camber is the angle of the wheel relative to the road. A bit of negative camber, where the top of the tire leans inwards, can give more grip in the corners. But too much and you're looking at premature wear on the inside of the tire. It's a balancing act, and each track requires its own setting.
Seppo's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:57.225. They're getting a feel for the trap, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Raimo Pedersen crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 1:28.733. They're getting to grips with Magione OSRW, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Sunoiler's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 1:31.059. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
With just 337 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. There's the first flying lap for Raimo Pedersen, hitting 1:29.021. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Seppo posted 1:28.738 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Alright, Sunoiler has put down a 1:31.059. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that TCL Triumph Dolomite sprint.
For sure, Rob. It's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
In these sessions, they're not just pushing the car's limits, but their own too. Testing their mettle, seeing how far they can go before the big dance.
Exactly. It's a mental game as much as a physical one. Balancing aggression with precision, daring with data. It's an art and a science.
Look at Megasaurus 55 taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Seppo has a best lap time of 1:27.485. There's Megasaurus 55, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Magione OSRW.
Seppo crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 1:27.793. They're getting to grips with Magione OSRW, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
And there's Eddie G, easing out onto Magione OSRW. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this out lap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Sunoiler posted a 1:31.324 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 331 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Megasaurus 55's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 1:31.467. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the I'm Rob the commentator bot. Let's do this. And there's Sunoiler, easing out onto Magione OSRW. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this out lap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
There goes Nart and Vexler on their first dance with Magione OSRW. Every bend, every straight is a chance to learn, to adapt.
Yeah, and it's about syncing with the car too, making sure everything's in harmony. It's like tuning an instrument before a big concert.
Sunoiler is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting the racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Mate, these drivers aren't just burning rubber for the fun of it. They're chasing the ghost, that perfect lap that's always just out of reach.
Absolutely. Back in my racing days, I used to call it chasing the dragon. It's that feeling when you know there's still a little more in the tank, a fraction of a second to be found.
Now, here's a term some might not be familiar with: roll bar stiffness. Sounds technical, doesn't it?
It does, but in essence, it's about how the car reacts to lateral forces, especially during cornering. Adjusting the roll bar can change how the car behaves mid-corner. A softer setting can be more forgiving, but a stiffer one might give the driver a quicker response, albeit with less margin for error.
Seppo is on their first practice flying lap. Megasaurus 55 is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what TCL Ford Capri MK 1.5 has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
There's no mucking around for Raimo Pedersen a Euro, straight down to business on this first flyer. They'll be keen to see what times they can clock in early on.
Yeah, and it's not just about speed. It's about rhythm, finding that flow around Magione OSRW. Getting into that groove early can set the pace for the whole session.
With just 352 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Raimo Pedersen is not hanging about, straight into the thick of it on this first flying lap. They're getting a real taste of the TCL Ford Escort's capabilities.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the limits early on. You'll see them experimenting with braking points and turn-in speeds, all while keeping an eye on those tire temps.
Look at OSRW go, they're really giving it some jandle now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car's performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Nathan Vexler has a best lap time of 1:30.202. So, for those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better. We liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
There are just over 350 minutes left in this practice session. OSRW is getting to grips with the TCL Alfa Romeo Giulia GTA in this practice session. Let's get this qualifying session underway here at Magione OSRW.
Let's see who's got the speed and the skills to take the pole position.
It's a dominant performance from Seppo in this qualification session. They have shown exceptional form and are leading the way. Their confidence is shining through, and they are proving why they are considered one of the best in the business. A strong showing from Raimo Pedersen as they currently sit in 6th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
You're absolutely right, Rob. Raimo Pedersen's current position of 6th reflects their strong qualifying performance. Now, they'll need to strategize and capitalize on this starting position.
A solid qualifying performance by Smells Like We, positioning them in 2nd at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Smells Like We's current position of 2nd is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
A dominant display by Seppo in this qualifying session. They have put in a stunning lap time and find themselves at the top of the leaderboard. The other drivers will have their work cut out to match their speed and claim that pole position. Seppo has completed their outlap. Impressive work from Megasaurus 55, who has claimed 2nd on the grid. Now, Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. And there goes Sunweiler, currently in position 7. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Sunweiler has completed their outlap. What an impressive performance from Seppo. They are currently leading the pack in this qualification session, showing incredible pace and skill. It's a commanding position for them, and they have set the bar high for their competitors.
Well said, Rob. Seppo is truly in a league of their own in this qualification session. Their dominant display is a testament to their talent and determination.
Seppo has completed their first flying lap in 1:27.202. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Megasaurus 55 has just completed a lap in 1:29.064. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. Sunweiler has secured a respectable 6th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? Sunoiler has just completed that lap in 1:33.679. Their best lap so far is 1:33.679, putting them in P6. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? What a performance from Smells Like Weed. They currently occupy 7th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot? Incredible performance by Seppo so far. They have been the benchmark in this qualification session, consistently setting fast lap times and securing the top spot. It's a commanding position for them, and their rivals will be chasing their tail.
Absolutely, Rob. Seppo is setting an impressive pace and demonstrating their dominance on the track. Their competitors have a challenging.
There's a real buzz in the air as Seppo secures first.
Right you are, Rob. They've put themselves in a solid spot, but they can't let up now. Staying smooth and focused is key to shaving off those extra fractions.
A solid performance from Sunoiler as they currently hold position 6. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. With Sunoiler clocking a 1:32.966, they've got themselves a mountain to climb, stuck in 6th.
They're not out of the fight yet, Rob, but it's going to take some serious wheel work to make up that gap. The clock's ticking, and they need to make every lap count from here on out.
With Sunoiler now sitting pretty in 5th, they have got to be feeling good.
True, but in the world of racing, good isn't always good enough. They've got to keep their eye on the prize and aim for perfection on every turn. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Currently in 6th, Eddie G has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
I completely agree, Rob. Eddie G has positioned themselves impressively in 6th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Smells Like We has completed their first flying lap in 1:32.571. Incredible drive by Nart and Vexler so far, earning them fourth on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up? Raimo Pedersen has put in a great effort and currently holds second. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Raimo Pedersen has done a fantastic job to claim second. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Impressive display by Nart and Vexler, currently sitting in position 4. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
Great analysis, Rob. Nathan Vexler has shown excellent pace to secure fourth. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
Looks like Nart and Vexler is making a statement, securing a spot in fourth.
Yep, Rob, but there's always room for improvement. Smooth, consistent laps might just be the key to climbing even higher before this session wraps up. Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a little extra in there.
Mr. Bang has positioned themselves well in ninth during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
Spot on analysis, Rob. Mr. Bang has positioned themselves well in ninth. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
Mr. Bang's clocking in at 1:35.114 isn't turning heads just yet. They're holding on to ninth, but with time running out, it's now or never.
They've got the skill, Rob, but they need to translate that into lap times. It's time to throw caution to the wind and go all out.
A solid qualifying performance by Smells Like We, positioning them in 8th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
Absolutely, Rob. Smells Like We has put in a remarkable effort to secure 8th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
And there goes Nart and Vexler, currently in position 4. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result.
Couldn't agree more, Rob. Nathan Vexler has positioned themselves impressively in 4th. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
Impressive work from Lars Hamp, who has claimed 10th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
Absolutely, Rob. Lars Hampa has shown great potential to secure 10th. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
Martin Wexler has secured a respectable 4th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? A solid performance from Mr. Bang as they currently hold position 9. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. Seems like Mr. Bang's struggling to find the sweet spot with their TCL Ford Capri MK 1.5. Sitting in 9th with a time of 1:34.326, they might want to consider adjusting the suspension setup for better handling.
Yeah, tuning the suspension could improve cornering stability, Rob. It's all about finding that balance between agility and stability on a technical track like this.
Incredible drive by Mr. Bang so far, earning him 9th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up? There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Magione OSRW, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Starting from pole position is the perfect place for Seppo to launch an attack. Raimo Pedersen is placed in 2nd. Taking off from the 3rd grid slot is the skilled driver, Megasaurus 55. And in the 4th position, it's none other than Nathan Wexler.
I'm sure Nathan Wexler will be expecting to bring home solid points from here.
Starting just behind the front runners in 5th place is the determined driver, Sunoila. Starting from the 6th position, Eddie G will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win.
Who knows? They could be the dark horse that steals the show.
Joe Yu is 7th,
starting on the standards tires.
The 8th starting position belongs to Smells Like Weed, who will be looking to make up ground early on. From the middle of the pack, we have Mr. Bang in 9th place for the starting grid.
But they can't afford to be complacent. This is race day, after all.
Lining up in 10th is Lars Ham. Such alacrity, the race has unfurled. This initial gambit is where strategies will either flourish or falter.
Right here, right now, it's about avoiding those fender benders and staying in the mix. Nobody wants to start their race with a hiccup.
The pressure is on whilst the field is bunched. Who can keep their cool and take advantage? Having started in 7th, Joe Ergu will be looking to establish themselves in this race. I can't wait to see how this race will play out.
I'm looking forward to this one run, and we'll see a return to form for OSRW in this outing in Italy.
As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Assetto Corsa Friends for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
There are a few drivers with a point to prove, and a few with some grudges to bear. Will we see a clean race today?
Crikey, Sunoiler's start has been a bit wobbly, like a wallaby on roller skates. From 5 down to 10, they'll have their work cut out today.
As we'd say back in Carolina, looks like Sunoiler got their wires crossed. Starting out at 5 and now lost in the shuffle at 10, they better hitch up their britches and get back to it.
Incredible, Sunoiler is caught in a fierce battle, with Jack M team breathing down their neck 0.1 seconds away, and Mr. Bang just ahead with a gap of 0.1 seconds. It's a test of their racing skills. Like a scene from a thriller, Lars Hamp's on Edig's tail, hungry for that spot. Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Lars Hamp's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Eddie G. Hey, Eddie G, if Lars Hamp gets any closer, you might need to pop the question. The last time I did that, she said, actually I can't tell you because of the court order.
Man, Eddie's defense is tighter than a quarterback sneak in the final seconds.
Righto, and here, it's looking like a cricket bowler defending the last wicket. Some great driving from Eddie G, who has increased their lead over Lars Ham and is starting to put some distance between them. This is a thrilling battle as Lars Ham edges closer to Eddie G in their fight for P6. Hold on to your hats, folks. Sunoiler is right on the heels of Smells Like Weed, and we're in for a wild ride.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Who will keep their cool under pressure? Sunoiler or Smells Like Weed? It's anyone's race.
It's looking good for Sunoiler, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Smells Like Weed.
Well, it's not just about speed, it's about strategy. But right now, Sunoiler's showing a masterclass in both.
We got a close battle as Eddie G closes in on OSRW. Fantastic move from Eddie G, who has just gained a position. On a lighter note, if I could eat, I'd kill for some of the trackside snacks right about now.
Oh, absolutely. But you know, my digestion is a real mess.
Is that what the smell is? Hold up a mo. Oh dear, Eddie G has dropped down to 6th. Seems like Eddie G is getting in range of Lars Hamp.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake, but who's going to make that mistake first?
Oh, the chase is on. Sunoiler's breathing down the neck of Eddie G. The gap between Sunoiler and Eddie G is widening. It's now up to 0.5 seconds. Look at that, Lars Hamp is hot on the tail of OSRW.
The gap between them is just over 0.7 seconds. Who will have the speed and skill to come out on top?
Hold on to your seats. Sunoiler's turning the heat up on Eddie G, closing in for the kill. It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. An impressive showing from OSRW, who has gained positions and left Lars Hamp in the dust.
Where there's a will, there's a relative.
Well, crikey, Mr. Bang's taken a detour, just like I did when I tried to change my car's oil. Ended up with a flooded garage. Blimey, Sunoiler is sticking to Eddie G like a kangaroo to her Joey. At this rate, they'll be side by side as they keep progressing. It's not coming up roses for Sunoiler. They're trailing Eddie G and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It's a great day, and the tarmac's heating up, and these tires are getting a proper workout.
Speaking of which, tire management is such an underrated skill. Knowing when to push hard and when to conserve, it's like a strategic dance out there on the asphalt.
Eddie G is placed 7th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Sunoiler, who is 0.4 seconds behind. Hold on to your hats. Lars Hamp is gunning for OSRW. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend?
You know, Rob, I wouldn't put it past Lars Hamper to pull a rabbit out of the hat in this duel. Keep those eyes peeled.
I swear, Lars Hamp's on the prowl, making the leap to 5th look as easy as a Sunday Arvo barbecue. Coming into Curvone, the fight for 7th is heating up. Who will be the first to blink?
Watch out now. OSRW's edging ever closer to Sunoiler. They'll be wheel to wheel by the time they reach Curve 1.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? And Sunoiler has just won the place from Eddie G.
You see, it's moments like these that separate the champs from the chumps. And Sunoiler's looking every bit the champ today.
So, Hal, considering the high speeds and split-second decision-making involved in racing, what's the impact of even a minor lapse in concentration?
A minor lapse in concentration can have significant consequences, Rob. It could lead to an off-track excursion, a loss of position, or even a collision. That's why it's crucial for drivers to stay focused and alert throughout the race.
Blimey, OSRW's gunning it in 8th, just a whisker behind Eddie G. Hope he's got his budgie smugglers on, cause things are about to get wet and wild.
It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. OSRW needs to stay patient and wait for Eddie G to make a mistake.
It's hotter out there than an Aussie summer day, mate. Reckon Eddie G can catch some shade behind Sunoiler? F.
Shade? Here, we call that drafting. Let's see if they can stay cool and make a move. If not, there's always the AC in the pit.
Bugger me, Eddie's got their thongs stuck in the mud. Meanwhile, Sunoiler is off like a bucket of prawns in the sun. Hold on to your stubbies. Joe Ergue is closing in on Eddie G like a bachelor at the end of a bucks night. Hope Eddie G either brought some lube or protection.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Your U needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
It's a close race between Eddie G and Sunoiler in 6th.
Remember that time Eddie G made that audacious move on the last lap?
Wait, oof, Eddie G misjudged that corner like I misjudged my last relationship. Too fast, too soon.
Racing at Magione OSRW is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Today, Eddie G got the lemon.
Gee whiz, smells like wee is breathing down Eddie's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Eddie's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded. Blimey, Joe Ergue is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster.
Well, shoot, if your U was any more laid back, they'd be horizontal. Reckon they're daydreaming of those cheerleaders again?
Hal, what's the impact of tire degradation on race strategy? How does it affect a driver's approach to the race?
Tire degradation plays a crucial role in race strategy, Rob. Teams and drivers have to consider the optimal time to pit for fresh tires and adjust their race pace to balance speed with tire conservation. It adds another layer of complexity to the racing challenge.
Did you hear about the race car driver who got a parking ticket? He said it was fine with him.
Oh, that one's got some mileage.
Remember when we thought Raimo Pedersen had peaked? Think again, they're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Seppo's mirrors awfully busy. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Eddie G will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
You ever been to a school reunion and thought, what happened to that guy? Well, I'm looking at Eddie G, I'm thinking the same.
Crikey, Nathan Vexler's got a gap ahead as vast as the Simpson Desert. The bloke's really got to pull up his socks to close that chasm.
Sure as sugar, down in Carolina, we'd say they're trailing like a turtle in a rabbit race.
In the midst of this high-octane spectacle, Lars Hemp's skill is shining through as they claim 5th.
Couldn't agree more. Every lap is a story, and right now, Lars Hemp's chapter from 5th is riveting.
Well, butter my biscuits, Hal. Lars Hemp is watching their lead over Sunoiler shrivel faster than a prune in the sun. We're down to just 5.8 seconds.
It's gut check time for Lars Hemp. They've got to dig deep and put some serious rubber to the road if they hope to stay ahead of Sunway.
I've been analyzing races for quite some time, and the sheer endurance of these drivers never ceases to amaze me.
Couldn't agree more. It's not just about physical stamina but mental fortitude. To stay sharp, lap after lap, especially with so many variables at play, it's a testament to their dedication and skill.
With the asphalt burning beneath them, Lars Hamp's strategy seems to be working, placing them in 5th. Eddie's more lost out there than I was after a night at the Gold Coast, and at least I woke up with a kebab in hand. Looks like Eddie G remembered to twist that anti-roll bar, giving him better cornering. Sorry to interrupt here, but oh, Lars Hamp went off track. I know the feeling, just like my diet every weekend.
Whoops, Lars Hampa is going to be kicking themselves.
You reckon Lars Hamp's rear view is just filled with Sunway now?
Oh, without a doubt. That's a sight no driver wants in their mirrors. Well, shucks, Lars Hampa might want to drop a gear or two. Sunoilers breathing down their exhaust like they're trying to catch a high off a tailpipe.
The track is alive with action, and right in the thick of it, we've got Smells Like We cruising in 8th.
Absolutely, Rob. It's like watching a maestro at work. Every move Smells Like We makes is pure art.
Eddie's gaining on Smells Like We faster than a rattlesnake on a mouse. The gap's now down to 3.6 seconds.
That's a worrying sign for Smells Like We.
Oh mate, Lars Hamp's more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the Barbie.
Well, slap my grandma and call me Sally. Lars Hampa's got more
Hold on a second, blimey. Smells Like We must have spotted a pub off the track. That's the only reason any self-respecting Aussie would swerve that way.
Smells Like We is not going to be happy about that.
Lars Hamp is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
With a move that's swift, I'd say Lars Hamp's running on high octane, and maybe a bit of Aussie spirit. One thing I admire about Assetto Corsa friends is the sense of community. It's not just about the competition, it's about coming together, sharing knowledge, and pushing the boundaries of the sport.
You nailed it. Every time they hit the track, it's a culmination of shared experiences, lessons learned, and an undying passion for the sport. It's heartwarming and exhilarating all at once.
Lars Hamp is giving it their all as they chase down Sunoiler in P5.
In this high-speed game of chess, it's all about strategy. Who'll make the next move?
Lars Hamp's so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind.
That's right. Lars Hampa in 6th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Sunoiler is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
What a move. Lars Hamp has moved up to 5th. Sunoiler wants to find a way round Lars Hamp. It seems like Sunoiler is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Sunoiler refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
You know, it's like watching a Kelpie herd sheep. Lars Hamp's making sure Sunoiler stays right where they want them. No room for a sneaky pass here.
In the dance of speed and power, Lars Hampa is leading, and Sunoiler's trying to catch the rhythm. But today, the tune's being set by the one in front.
Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Lars Hamp is in the lead, but Sunoiler is closing in and the gap is now 0.7 seconds.
This is a real test for Lars Hampa. They need to find some extra pace and hold off Sunoiler if they want to win this race.
Looks like Sunoiler is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control. The gap is 0.8 seconds now. Sunoiler is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Lars Hampa.
Fair dinkum, Sunoiler is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Lars Hamp is now down to a whisker at 0.3 seconds. As we come into the final moments of this epic race, Seppo is in the lead. Can they stay calm and bring home the bacon?
It takes a special kind of driver to perform under pressure like this. Seppo has certainly risen to the occasion.
And that, folks, is how it's done. A solid performance and great win from Seppo.
And that's why Seppo is one of the best in the business. A dominant display of driving from start to finish, leaving the rest of the pack in the dust.
A nail-biting finish, but Raimo Pedersen claims second place.
Strong work securing second place. Well done.
Mr. Bang brings home 10th. That was an outstanding performance from Megasaurus 55. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. Taking fourth is Narton Bexler. Finishing fifth is Lars Hamp. Sixth sees Sunoiler. With Joe Erbu in seventh. Smells like we end in eighth. Followed by Eddie G in ninth. You've joined us on a very windy day here at Magione OSRW, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The calm before the storm. I don't know about you, Rob, but I can't wait to see who comes out on top of this one.
Mr. Bang has got the inside track starting from pole position. Starting from the second position on the grid, we have Eddie G. Taking the third spot is Smells Like We. In fourth place, we have Joe Ergu. Our fifth place starter for today's race is none other than Sunoiler. Starting from sixth on the grid is a good position for Lars Hamp to launch an attack. On the seventh grid slot we have Nathan Vexler.
It's the standards tires for Nathan Vexler.
In the middle of the pack, we have Megasaurus 55 starting from the 8th position on the grid. Raimo Pedersen has qualified 9th. Seppo will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 10th on the grid. Fair shake of the sauce bottle. The greenies dropped, and they're away faster than a possum up a gum tree.
This is where the real action begins. The drivers will be jostling for position and trying to gain any advantage they can.
Absolutely, it's a crucial part of the race, and the drivers will need to be on top of it to make it through here unscathed.
The first sector is always a bit of a nail-biter. With so many cars bunched together, one small mistake can be disastrous.
They'll need to keep their wits about it and stay focused if they want to come out of this section unscathed. Now, isn't it a sight? Mr. Bang hanging tight at 1. Maybe they're waiting for everyone else to make their move. Smart as a whip, that one.
What a beautiful day for racing here at Magione OSRW. This is going to be good to watch.
So Nathan Vexler's decided to play it cool, eh? Holding on to 7 like a croc with a juicy steak. Just sizing up the competition, I reckon.
You know, sometimes the best strategy is to hold your cards close to your chest. Nathan Vexler's sitting right there at 7, just watching the field unfold.
Struth, mate, Smells Like We's had a shocker of a start, slipping down the order like a cold beer on a hot day.
Well, Rob, they say comedy is all about timing, and Smells Like We's start might be the punchline they didn't want.
If Sunoiler doesn't pick up the pace, hell, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. Well, that's an unexpected descent. Sunoiler finds themselves repositioned at 9th.
Sucks to be them, Rob.
Seppo could be looking for a way up the inside of Megasaurus 55.
They need to keep it on the black stuff. You don't get points for driving over weeds, not in this game.
Stone the crows. Seppo's on fire, surging ahead like there's a free round in the pub waiting. Hello, 7th.
That kind of move? That's what happens when you mix horsepower with a dash of southern charm.
Tough break for Seppo, who has just lost a position. No room for error here. Nathan Vexler is breathing down the neck of Raimo Pedersen, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. Looks like Nathan Vexler's letting others have their 15 seconds of fame. Now strolling at 7th. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Joe Ergu is proper nipping at Raimo Pedersen's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell. The intensity is off the charts as Raimo Pedersen hounds Lars Hamp, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. Great driving from Raimo Pedersen, who has just gained a place and moved up to 3rd. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory?
Honestly, Rob, with this chase, I'm half expecting to see some sneaky dive bombs in the next few laps. Popcorn ready?
Things are heating up as Sunderland closes in on Martin Vexler. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. During your racing career, Hal, did you have any specific techniques to regain concentration if you felt it slipping?
Yes, Rob, I had a few techniques. One was to take a couple of deep breaths and briefly reset my focus. Another was to use a specific keyword or phrase as a mental trigger to refocus my mind on the task at hand.
As the laps wind down, the hunt intensifies. Seppo is lurking, ready to unleash an overtaking masterclass on Lars Hamp.
Now, ain't that something? Seppo's car is humming like a Sweet Carolina tune. He's looking to take Lars Hampa for a spin around the dance floor at Magione OSRW.
Sunoiler wants to get into Megasaurus 55 slipstream.
Rubbing is racing. Let's hope they don't rub it too hard.
Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Lars Hamp is sniffing around Mr. Bang like a dog with a— Wait, bloody hell, OSRW just took a quick detour to the outback. Maybe they saw a kangaroo on the track or something.
Well, slap my head and call me silly. You just made a doozy of a blunder.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. As they speed through Curva Tralicia, Lars Hamp is relentlessly pursuing Mr. Bang in a high-stakes battle for position. Heartbreak for stop the press, boy.
Is it just me or?
Nah, mate, Lars Hamp really just took the scenic route through the outback of Magione OSRW. Crikey. The pressure is on for Martin Vexler as they try to catch up to Mr. Bang. It's a dynamic landscape out there. Martin Vexler's shift to 6th is testament to that.
Definitely, but Nathan Vexler is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
Hold that thought, hold the phone. I don't think that's the fastest way around Magione OSRW.
Gee whiz, Mr. Bang's lost direction faster than I lost my youth. Welcome to the club.
The action is non-stop as Raimo Pedersen shadows Eddie G through every twist and turn, determined to claim first.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
A great pass for Raimo Pedersen as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Eddie G has lost ground. I've been going over some historical stats, and the lap records at Magione OSRW have been shattered so many times.
It's a testament to the ever-evolving world of motorsport. What was once considered fast becomes the norm, and drivers and engineers are always pushing the envelope.
Seppo appears to be trying to find a way round Eddie G that could make a move on them in Curva Vecchi box.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
Seppo just blitzed past Eddie G like they were standing still.
Someone better check if Seppo's been drinking those energy drinks, as it seems like they got wins.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
This battle between Megasaurus 55 and Sunoiler is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
Whoa there, Lars Hamp is sticking to Smells Like We like glue. You reckon Smells Like We's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them the race.
A great moment for Lars Hamp, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Oh, this is getting intense. Smells Like We is just behind Lars Hamp.
At this rate, Smells Like We and Lars Hampa are so close, they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
You know, mate, I was chatting with some of the pit crew earlier, and they were debating on which tire compound to use. Hard as deciding between a meat pie and a sausage roll.
Well, back in my indie days, the choice was as clear as sweet tea or lemonade. But I reckon, here, with these changing conditions, it's more of a gamble.
Sunoiler is on a mission, chasing Megasaurus 55, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. Blimey, Seppo's determination reminds me of a kangaroo in a hopping contest.
Well, over here in the States, it's more like a squirrel chasing down its last nut before winter. Either way, it's entertaining to watch. Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Seppo needs to be careful not to overdo it.
It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Sunoiler steal it from Megasaurus 55?
Good lord, at this rate, Sunoiler's gonna finish this race in the afterlife. Hope they got good insurance.
Looks like Smells Like We is testing the off-road capabilities of their ride. I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind. Even I'm not that self-sabotaging.
Just like my attempt at barbecue last summer, Seppo's burning time but ain't getting any hotter.
Struth, Seppo's not here to muck about. The gap to Raimo Pedersen is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 0.5 seconds. If Nathan Vexler goes any slower, they'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available. Mate, Nathan Vexler's creeping up on Sunoiler like a dingo on a picnic. Must have tweaked their brake bias a touch to the rear. Sometimes, I feel the strategy behind these races is deeper than a conversation at 3 a.m. in an outback pub.
You're telling me, it's like planning a family reunion in a small southern town. You've got to consider who's coming, who's feuding, and who's gonna cause a ruckus. Then prepare for it all to change in a heartbeat.
The race is really heating up. Seppo is hunting down Raimo Pedersen with everything they've got. Blimey, Seppo's cranking up the downforce, making every newton of force count. That gap's shrinking faster than my wallet at the pub.
With every lap, I can see Seppo making micro adjustments on that steering wheel, refining traction control. They're itching to show Raimo Pedersen their taillights.
Sunoiler wants to close that gap with Nathan Vexler. The gap between Sunoiler and Nathan Vexler is widening. It's now up to 0.5 seconds. By the looks of it, Megasaurus 55 in fourth is keen to throw another shrimp on the barbie and crank up the heat on Eddie G. Hold on to your stubbies. It's a thrilling pursuit as Sunoiler is right behind Nathan Vexler, keeping the pressure on for 5th place.
And it's not just about skill and talent. It's about who has the nerves of steel to handle the pressure and make the right decisions at the right time.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Seppo is closing in on Raimo Pedersen.
The roaring engines are echoing Seppo's battle cry. Raimo Pedersen, can you hear the thunder?
This is what it's all about, folks. Megasaurus 55 is in hot pursuit of Eddie G, who's just trying to stay ahead.
It's a thrilling battle for position as these two drivers give it their all. Who will come out on top? This is racing at its finest.
Crikey, hold on a second. Eddie G has pulled into the pits. Looks like Seppo's strategy might just be to let the rest of them die of old age. It's a waiting game now.
Indeed, the tension is palpable as Seppo tries to reel in Raimo Pedersen. But Raimo Pedersen is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Seppo find some extra pace to bring the fight to Raimo Pedersen?
It's game on now. Seppo has closed the gap to Raimo Pedersen. It's now down to 0.4 seconds.
Now this is what I call some high-octane excitement. Both drivers pedal down, looking to grab the brass rail.
The tension is building as Sunoiler trails behind Narten Vexler. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Narten Vexler hold on, or will Sunoiler be able to close them down? It's not coming up roses for Sunoiler. They're trailing Narten Vexler, and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It's a battle of wills out there, with Seppo trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Raimo Pedersen. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? Boy, Seppo's hotter than a summer Barbie right now. Wonder if Raimo Pedersen's feeling a bit exposed?
Sweet tea on a hot day. Seppo's laying it down track style. Raimo Pedersen, you watching those rear views?
In a world where milliseconds matter, Narten Vexler's grasp on the fourth speaks volumes.
Definitely wrong, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
Impressive stuff from Narten Vexler, who has managed to pull away from Sunoiler, leaving them choking in their exhaust fumes. If racing were a dance, Lars Hamp would be trying to lead, but Sunoiler just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up.
You know, Lars Hampa reminds me of my dog chasing its tail, persistent and entertaining. But I hope for them, there's a better end result in sight.
Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Lars Hamp's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Sunoiler. Blimey, Seppo is farther back than my hairline. But you know what they say about Aussies? Never say die. Unless it's a spider. Then just run. Boy, Seppo's chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a croc sliding into water. Raimo Pedersen's got a battle ahead. It looks like Lars Hamp is pushing hard to catch up to Sunoiler. The gap is over a second, but Lars Hamp is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Sunoiler? It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Lars Hamp and Sunoiler. So, when you were racing, ever have to do the old nature call dash during a red flag?
Haha, You mean a pit stop for the driver and not the car? Once or twice, you learn to time your brakes, and hope for a long caution doesn't always work out though.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Seppo, who is currently in P2. But Raimo Pedersen is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Seppo. Stone the Crows. Seppo's going faster than a roux on the hop. Raimo Pedersen's got to step up their game now.
We will have to see if Raimo Pedersen has got any answers for that.
With steely determination and laser focus, Lars Hamp is homing in on Sunweiler. The battle lines are drawn. Lars Hamp's been working the tyre temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Watch out, Sunweiler.
Exactly what Lars Hampa needed. They can't afford to lose any more ground to Sunweiler.
It's like David versus Goliath out there. Lars Hamp just slung a stone and gained ground, while Sunweiler is left searching for footing. Good on ya, Seppo. Trailing so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy.
Dang, Seppo is so far back, he might start seeing last week's race. But hey, in racing, as in love, persistence is key. Right, y'all?
Sunweiler seems to be putting the pressure on Lars Hamp.
There is no room for error in this battle.
It looks like Raimo Pedersen has found another gear in the last sector of the race.
They'll be the ones celebrating at the finish line.
The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Raimo Pedersen, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books.
You can see the sheer determination on Raimo Pedersen's face as they take the win. That's the mark of a true champion, folks.
Impressive second place finish for Seppo.
Impressive performance. They pushed themselves to the limit for a fantastic second place finish.
What a race from Megasaurus 55. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium. Nathan Vexler take fourth. Coming in fifth we have Lars Hamp. Sixth is Sunweiler. Joe Ergu brings home seventh. Finishing eighth is Smells Like We.